Welcome to the golden age of motocross, 1984. Here we are 41 years later. This one looks brand new, like it just came out of the crate. Bit of a journey to get it to where it is now. I'll go over that with you in a minute. But David Bailey was kicking ass on these back in the day. Honda was cleaning up in both United States and FIM motocross, AMA nationals, and supercross with this bike. Before we put it up on a lift, show them the bottom of the engine and frame rails. Everything's super clean on this bike. The DG pipe sounds awesome, and it's carbureted perfectly. It's got a brand new Keihin Air Striker carburetor that we just installed on it. Beautiful carb. The bike had a full frame off restoration. We just tallied up the work orders this morning. The bike just got finished. It has 105 hours of shop labor on it, which is more than our typical frame off, a little bit more. And I'll tell you why. Well, it came right down to the frame, and as usual, and the frame went down to the shop where it was sandblasted and painted. Andrew did a couple of repairs on the bottom of the frame rails. There were a couple of dings in there that he filled in and smoothed off, so the frame looks real nice. Went over it with a fine-tooth comb, make sure there was no cracks on it anywhere. The frame was restored. And the subframe, the engine was taken right down to the crank. The cases were split and inspected. He put new crank bearings in it, new crank seals in it, new base gasket, new head gasket, brand new bore, brand new Wiseco piston and rings. Of course, a new spark plug. And as I mentioned, the brand new Keihin Air Striker carburetor. The ATAC valve was removed, completely dismantled, cleaned, and replaced. It's got a new DG pipe on there with a DG silencer, new shifter seal. All the seals and gaskets are new. All the hardware on the engine is new. I think every nut and bolt you can see on the engine is brand new. Of course, new fuel petcock lines and drain lines. The intake boot clamps are new. The intake boot itself is new, as are the reeds. New twin air filter. So I almost forgot. I'm not reading off the work order, but I'm just going by memory. And he actually, when the cases were split on this, he actually there was a crack in the engine cases internally, which he welded. And there were two other repairs. One right here, this screw right here on the other side, it broke off. So he used Balsama, repaired that, and put, it's like a liquid steel, and put the bolt back in. On this side over here, the inside of the ignition, there was a crack on the engine case down here, and he repaired that also. So sandblasted the cases, bead blasted them, and went through them with a fine-tooth comb, made any corrections he had to before he installed the crank and the brand new transmission. He replaced the entire transmission on the bike, all 5 gears. So I guess fifth gear had an issue with the fifth gear, so he bought an entire replacement transmission from one of our vendors. So it's got a new transmission, new clutch cable, new throttle cable, starting at the front. So the engine is completely gone through top to bottom, and it hauls ass. Before I get into the other stuff, the liquid cooling system was all gone through too. You can see it has new radiators, new GPI hoses, and he went through the water pump. Oh, I almost forgot. It's also got a brand new complete clutch cover. This whole clutch cover, this whole side of the engine right here is brand new. These are replaced the original ones. So kicker's nice and tight. So the engine's completely been rebuilt top to bottom. Everything's been done on it. So starting at the front of the bike, while it was apart, the forks were professionally polished and given that chrome-like finish. It was actually a polished aluminum, gives it a deep luster. The forks were rebuilt. New fork boots were installed. The steering bearings were replaced. The front wheel was wrapped in a new Dunlop's original front wheel, was wrapped in a Dunlop tire. The brakes were rebuilt. The caliper was rebuilt. The caliper was rebuilt. It has new brake pads, and he replaced the front brake cable. So with a new braided stainless brake cable, rebuilt the master cylinder, and then polished the master cylinder cover. The aluminum cover was polished. New brake lever, new throttle tube, and throttle housing with a new throttle cable. Brand new clutch lever, clutch perch, and quick adjust lever. New grips, new kill switch, new Renthal bars, new Renthal risers, and new Renthal crossbar pad. So Andrew got a little obsessed on this one. When we got the final work order, we were like, holy shit, 105 hours labor and thousands of dollars in parts. The actual cost, if we were going to do this for a client at $150 an hour, you would have had over 15,000 just in labor, and the bike won't sell for that much. So sometimes it becomes a labor of love. And when you do a bike like this, you have to get everything dialed in. Otherwise you wasted your time. So he went through everything on it. Obviously the swing arm, the linkage, the rear shock, everything was off the bike. The original bearings, swing arm bearings and linkage bearings were in excellent condition. So he cleaned and greased those and reinstalled them. The original swing arm, that's not an aftermarket graphic. This is the original swing arm, and the original swing arm graphics is pretty remarkable that 41 years later, those are still intact and in decent shape. The rear brakes were gone through. The rear wheel was wrapped in a new Dunlop D952 tire. He replaced the wheel bearings. I don't remember if it was a front or a rear wheel, but he replaced the wheel bearings. I have to grab the work order to remember. But he also put a whole new drive chain system on it, put a brand new sprocket on it, Renthal sprocket with a gold chain and a new counter shaft sprocket, new shifter. Original pegs are in excellent condition. Usually they're all, bagged out and bent and stuff. So these are the original pegs in good shape. While he had that off, he cleaned all the hardware before reinstalling it. I put a new chain guide on it, and every nut and bolt on this bike came off of it, and most of them were replaced. All new hardware for the rear sprocket. The rear shock is not blown, but he did not rebuild the shock. It didn't need to be rebuilt. It works good. So as far as the cosmetics of the bike go, everything's new. The front fender's new. The front number plate's new. The radiator shrouds are new. All the hardware is new. The seat cover is new. All of these plastics are from VMX, and our cost on these, they're obscenely expensive. It was $90. I think it was $90 for the side covers and $90 for the rear fender. I'm gonna bring out my notes here. I got 4 pages of notes. The VMX stuff is super pricey, but it's really, really nice. The graphics were by TJ. The number plate graphics, usually Christy does them in house, but he had a vendor who had them already made, so she didn't have to make them. Going down the parts list, you've got let's see. I think I covered pretty much all of it. I did mention the forks being rebuilt, new fork seals, new fork boots, new tires, the Key and Air Striker carb kit. That retails for $380. That's an expensive piece. And the intake boot was, according to this year, $150. So kind of pricey. Doesn't have the VMX plastics prices down on here. I'll have to ask him about that. He's actually at the Supercross today, Andrew. So he's not really available to ask about this, but, you can see the plastics are all brand new. And if you go on VMX's website and check it out, you'll see they're very expensive. So yeah, when he was done, he was like, yeah, I think I spent a little more time and money on this. We probably should have. If it was a 500, we know it would sell for well north of 15. The 250s are worth less than the 500s, but just the fact that it was an 84. If you look back on our YouTube videos, we might have done a couple of them, but they're pretty rare to find a restored 84. We hadn't done one in a while, so once he got going on it, there was no turning back. So it's done. It's ready to go and ready to take to the races. So 105 hours labor. That doesn't include any of my time chasing this thing in and out of the detail shop and service over the last 3 or 4 months. This one took a long time to get done. We were waiting for parts. The DG pipe had to be special ordered direct from DG, and frankly, we don't get a discount from him. He didn't have it on the parts order, so I'm not sure the exact cost, but if my memory serves me correct, it was $450 for the DG pipe. It has a DG silencer on it already. That came with the bike, and that's in good serviceable condition. The one of the issues we had with the bike is when he was tuning it, is he couldn't get it to run exactly perfectly with the original carb, and that's why we put the new Air Striker carb on it, and it still had the same symptom. It wouldn't rev out perfectly, so we ended up replacing the CDI box on it too. So basically between the transmission, the crank, the top end, the carburetor, the CDI box, the exhaust, the work he did on the cases, the new engine cover. I mean, it was there's reasons why you won't see a bike like this out for sale from any other dealer, because, well, with 105 hours labor, which is, well, let me take out my notes here. It's 100 hours labor would be $15,000, and several $1,000s in parts. You've got an $18,000 work order on a bike that's worth less than 15. So that's why shops don't do this, because there's plenty of people looking to get their bikes repaired. You don't need to do this, but we this is what we do. Sometimes I think insanity is repeating the same thing over and over. We keep restoring these classics. It's something we love to do. Everybody that works here is obsessed with motorcycles. I mean, Andrew's at the Supercross right now. We take our vacations, our days off, to go to motorcycle races, and we spend our lives doing this. So it's not about, if people think it's a get rich quick scheme doing frame offs on classics, you've lost your freaking mind. We sold over 150 brand new bikes last month, and I think less than half of that of classics. We make more off electric bikes, sad to say, than we do off of these. So, but it's something that's a cornerstone of our business. Sometimes Junior gets upset when he sees these work orders and sees what they sell for, and he's running the front end, the finances, and then the sales. But I'm down in the shop with the guys and authorizing all these decisions to spend all this time and money on these classics. So when you guys buy them, we appreciate you supporting our what we're doing and our passion. So then there's no other shops in the country that have 25 guys working there that do this kind of work. There's a couple of small shops that have, one or two or three guys, but I don't know of any other shop that is as crazy as we are about these old bikes, or has done as many. So it's Good Friday. Hope you all have a great Easter weekend. And if you have any questions about this classic, give us a call. You probably already know the number. We can ship it to your door, enclosed transport, roll on, roll off. And we actually finance classics too, if you want to finance one of these. So is it too pretty to ride? I don't know. We'll let the new owner decide. We have 100% positive feedback on eBay after selling. I think we're up to close to 20,000 sales on eBay, and over half those were motorcycles. We try to disclose everything. And I just noticed between the lower and the upper fork tube, there is a tiny bit there's some pitting on the chrome. It's just a cosmetic issue. You could wrap that in a carbon fiber wrap, or leave it alone. Underneath the boots did not pit because it had boots on it since it was new, right? So just those, while it sat in the garage for the last 40 years, there's a tiny bit of pitting on there. I've disclosed any other issues that we've had to repair, and that's about it. The original swing arm has a couple scratches on it because it is the original swing arm, but it's a motocross bike, right? So it's been ridden in the woods. Those are the original wheel sets too. They're in good condition. They have a little bit of wear on them, but they're totally serviceable. No cracks or issues or anything like that. So that pretty much sums it up. Thanks for watching, and God bless America.